Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Thursday. Got a big episode here for you. We are drafting from the first position, doing a fantasy football mock draft, hammering out the first 3 rounds in extensive detail from this first overall position. Welcome to the show if you guys are brand new. This is not your grandmother's consensus copy and paste Sheeps' channel. Every other channel is feeding you garbage, is feeding you copy and paste cookie cutter rankings. Do not listen to anybody else. I want to make this disclaimer. They are lying to you. These are the same people last year as you're looking at fantasy football mock drafts. They're doing these drafts and they're telling you T. Higgins round 2. They're telling you Austin Eckler second overall pick. They are telling you Dalvin Cook round 5. They are telling you Mike Williams round 5. They are telling you J.K. Dobbins round 4. They are telling you Tony Pollard top 8 pick last year, first round. And I told you to avoid all those guys. That's just a quick example. They had Sam Laporta sitting at 21st amongst tight ends last year. And this year they're telling you to draft him in the second round. Guys, copy and paste rankings don't work. This channel is the only channel giving you the truth. I'm going to show you, get a quick sample size on how I do my drafts, how I think some of the mythology and the thought process outside the box. This is a taste of it. If you want the full real deal on a silver platter, guys, I live and breathe this. I'm the #1 coach in fantasy sports. If you want the real deal, grab the 16-round draft solution, guys. It'll put you light years ahead of the sheep. And also, if you want the full experience, come hang out with us, me, Kyron Williams, Trey Benson, Tajay Spears, Rashid Shaheed at the Fantasy Sports Summit. I've also linked that below, guys. I'm an independent. I work on my own. There is no 4-letter network behind me, nor do I care to work for a 4-letter network that's going to control me with puppet I can't even talk. I'm so excited. Puppet strings doesn't work like that, guys. Grab the 16-round draft solution, hit the thumbs up, smash it, tap it, slap it, and enjoy this mock draft. We're drafting first overall. Okay, guys? So grab a ticket to the summit and grab 16 rounds, all right? So let's dive into it. Let's get right to this simulation mock draft here. So I'm going to pull it up. We are drafting first overall. So a lot of people ask me, like, what do I do, Joe? Who do I grab? Who do I grab first overall? I will tell you this is not going to be CMC, all right? Now, let's explain why. This is very, very simple for me. He's 28, 29 years old. He's old. He's at the tail end of his career. He's coming off a major Super Bowl hangover and 2 pinnacle years. He finished first in PPR amongst running backs last year and second the year before. Astronomically, great years, great talent. But if you look at the 2 years prior, 10 games in those 2 seasons, 2020, 2021, that's all he played because he was injured, right? So what goes up must come down. I'm a true believer in that, okay? History shows us that running backs just don't sustain these type of numbers, okay? They drafted Isaac Orlando, out of the draft. They got George Kittle there. I don't know, man. I just don't believe this team can do it yet again. They had a pinnacle year last year. I'm not sold on this offense, okay? I'm not sold that this guy can stay healthy yet again for another season. I'm just not sold on that. And for that reason, and the reasons I just stated, and many, many more reasons, he's married now. He already got paid. He's incentivized. So that hunger is lost, right? There's so many things that indicate don't draft CMC. Now, could he finish on top again? Very, very possible, but very, very unlikely. So I want to emphasize that point as I go through this and we look at who's available here and who to go first overall, okay? What goes up must come down. I want to hammer this point home as we go through this on deciding who the first overall pick is, okay? I see things before they happen. I project things. Now you say, well, Joe, you're wrong about CMC the past couple years, but I was right the 2 years before. I was right about Eckler and all those other guys I mentioned, right? I have a good sense on who's going to decline. It's about trending up and trending down. So when you make this executive decision, what do you do? Who do you draft first overall? It's very, very simple to me. It's clear cut. It's going to be Bijan Robinson. Now, some people say, well, Joe, why do you call him Bijan? It's just the way you pronounce it. Bi as in bi-weekly, Jan as in rant. It's just the way you pronounce it, okay? So I'm going Bijan here, all right? And I'm going to talk about the first round. We're going to talk about the second round, who I'm picking here at the 2.12, and who I'm going to go back-to-back with the 3.01. So I went Bijan. Let me tell you why. Let me explain my reasoning. You got to look at what's trending upwards. The coaching staff, the owners, the offensive coordinator, they've all said, we got to get the ball more to Bijan this year. Last year, he was completely hindered. 180 plus attempts. I don't even know what the exact number was. Were wasted on Tyler Algier, who sucks. Every time Bijan touched the ball, it looked like we were watching something special there. His vision was top notch. His nose for the end zone, his catching ability. He looks great everywhere. He's young. He's hungry. He hasn't been paid. He hasn't been incentivized. His belly isn't full. Okay. So when I look at a guy like Bijan Robinson, I see upside. I see talent. I don't see anybody behind him. I see Algier as a backup, but that's it. Okay. I see an offense that's going to do better this year with the addition of Kirk Cousins. A make or break season for Drake London, who has had years to wow us. We're not wowed. Was a first round pick years ago and done nothing. Kyle Pitts also. These guys have to do stuff if they want to get paid. Kirk Cousins, I heard he's bulked up, looking good. All right. So listen, you got to look and project forward. What's going to happen this year? Another guy I recommend is Breece Hall. Easily a first round pick. Now, these guys are coming off later. And ironically, guys like Justin Jefferson, right, coming off before Breece and Bijan, which is ludicrous. And what's another thing that's crazy when we're looking at the first round here is that everybody's telling you to draft Jefferson, but I haven't heard any major pushback or any debate or talk about like, okay, Justin Jefferson has Sam Darnold throwing to him. Like, why aren't we talking about this? Like, it's Sam Darnold. And it's like nobody is like batting an eye or like, they don't even care. It's just because it's Justin Jefferson. So like, oh man, it's Justin Jefferson. So we got to we just got to draft him like as a top 4 pick. Guys, that is ludicrous. Do not do this. Do not draft predicate on last year or predicate on like, hey man, this guy is Justin Jefferson. He's a top receiver in the league. I got to draft him no matter what. Okay. And you should be going running back. So first overall, we've entered a phase in the NFL now where they're completely phasing out the workhorse running back. They're going by committee, and they're few and far between. Bijan and Breece are like the two guys that are prime. Even guys like Saquon, I think Henry are still, some of the dinosaurs that are just going to be the workhorse running back. Even a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, who should be a workhorse, and he would be the number 1 player in fantasy if there's no Montgomery. If Montgomery wasn't there, I'd say Jahmyr Gibbs first overall, easy. But because Montgomery's there, he takes a hit. So let's go over the first round here. First overall, I go Bijan or Breece. I'm comfortable with both. Now you're asking, who do I want out of those two? I still lean a little bit Bijan, okay? We see Christian McCaffrey off the board, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Breece Hall, A.J. Brown, Puka, Garrett Wilson, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Listen, great talent, but not all of these guys are going to finish in at their ADP. Puka's got Cooper Kupp coming back. Who knows how that's going to fizzle out? A healthy Cooper Kupp could still be the one there. Garrett Wilson, I mean, there's talk about, bringing in Devontae Adams or something crazy like that. I don't think that'll happen, but if it did, man, would that take a hit there for Garrett Wilson? I don't think that's going to happen, though. Amon-Ra's safe. Tyreek, I think, when does that over the hill kind of off the cliff year happen? CeeDee Lamb coming off a pinnacle year. Everything is pretty much the same there. I still think he has a great year, CeeDee Lamb. I'm not really concerned there. Jamar Chase, obviously the health of Joe Burrow is the case. Everybody's got question marks. The key when you're drafting first round, particularly first overall, who to pick, you want to minimize as many question marks as possible, but injuries can happen to absolutely anybody. God forbid it happens to Bijan, but if it does, that would really suck. But but I'm mitigating as much risk. What goes up must come down, and Christian McCaffrey's trending downward. So if I'm going first overall, that's what I'm doing. Bijan's clear cut. He's coming off pretty much 6th overall anyway, 6th, 7th, as late as 8th. If you get him 8th, man, that's an absolute steal in drafts in a 12-person, 1 point PPR league. But I'm going Bijan first overall, okay? We're going to go over the second round. I'm going to give you guys the 2.12. Before we do, guys, again, I've teamed up with mybookie.ag. Go over there right now. That's mybookie.ag. Use promo code FFC. I just teamed up with them, guys. This is the only site I use and I trust, guys, for my bets. Okay, guys? So head on over there right now. And here's the cool thing. There's up to a $1,000 welcome bonus upon signing. This is huge, guys. Use the code FFC, guys, when you're using it. mybookie.ag. Head on over there right now. I've linked, I'm going to put a code here as well. You can scan the code. And I'm telling you guys, this is the site that I use for my sports bet. Okay, guys? Head on over there, FFC. And of course, this is the promo. I just got the email right now, up to $1,000 welcome bonus. And football is back. Enhance your game watching experience. MyBookie, guys, head over there right now. Use promo code FFC. You guys will be over the moon excited. I'm excited, man. And what I'll do on this show, probably going to do a Saturday show. I'll be talking about my locks of the week and stuff like that. There's in my Patreon group, I'll be talking about that as well, giving you guys kind of my favorite picks. I'll be doing some videos on some picks that I like using this site as well. MyBookie.ag, FFC, go create an account right now. Okay. So I gave them a little plug there. Okay. Back to the draft here. All right. So second round here, we got Drake London, Travis Etienne, Jonathan Taylor, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, Barkley. That's a good deal for Barkley, mid round two. Nico Collins, Isaiah Pacheco, Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, and Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen this year. I love that Keon Coleman, Josh Allen stack is going to be nice. So honestly here, man, like, who do I go for here? Let's take a look at the best available running backs. And look at this. Now, this is just kind of a consensus type draft scenario here, guys. There is a good chance Derrick Henry actually falls here. Kyren Williams, who's going to be on the show next week. I'm super excited. Kyren Williams is going to be on the show. So if you haven't got your summit ticket, grab it below, or thefantasyfootballcouncil.com. Grab a ticket to the summit. You have a chance to ask him questions August 21st, but he's also coming on the podcast as well. It's going to be fun, man. So Kyren Williams. Do I go Kyren Williams? I love Kyren Williams, but I just think that I don't tell him straight up when he's on the show. I'm like, Blake Corum is concerning me a little bit, right? I'm going to ask him about his volume a little bit. But Derrick Henry seems like an absolute steal here. Take a quick glance at wide receiver. I don't like Pittman. I don't like Ayuk. There's a lot of like trade talk with Ayuk. He's already requested a trade. The fact that he's requested a trade is a bit of a concern to me. So Ayuk, I'm out on. Evans is safe, but a little older and boring. Waddle's the wide receiver too. DJ Moore, who knows what he's at? Wide receiver 2, 3, we don't know. But here's the deal, right? We talked about last year, guys. I'm going to talk about this again. Do not draft a wide receiver 2 on his team in the early rounds. So I want to talk a little bit about some fantasy football draft strategy here that other people are just not addressing. They're not talking about it. So you look at this scenario here, right? You're like, okay, Waddle. Why would I spend my second round pick on a guy that I know, barring any injury to like, Tyreek Hill, I know for certain, dudes, like he's the 2. So why would I do that when there's so many other wide receiver ones? This is the cool thing about the early rounds. A lot of people are going to be wasting picks on Debo, on DJ Moore. Now Debo gets an inflation, obviously. Brady gets shipped off, stuff like that. Metcalf, another 3-headed monster situation. Why would I go? Oh, I'm going to pull the screen up here, guys. Sorry. Why would I go Metcalf here? Like, that is ludicrous. Like, he is seriously it could be the 2 there. Could be the 3. JSN takes a step up. We already saw a target degradation last year with the addition of JSN. So why would I do that? Devontae Smith, he's the 2. Cooper Kupp could be the 2, could be the 1. So a lot of people are going to spend picks on guys that are 2s. So what I'm going to do here, now I went by Jan round 1. Why not continue to beef up my running back here and grab Derrick Henry, who I know is going to be the 1? James Cook, I don't like him this year. I'll tell you why. In 16 rounds, in the 16-round draft solution, guys, I give you all the optimal players. You get all the optimal players drafted in each round, omitting the guy. So I've done the work for you. But let me give you a quick example of why I don't like James Cook here right now, okay? He's coming off, round 2 to 3, as late as 4. You can see him kind of like 5th RB down. Why am I staying away from James Cook? It's very, very simple, guys. They drafted Ray Davis. They got Frank Gore Jr. They signed him after the draft. Josh Allen is there. He steals a ton of goal line work. And last year, even with Ray Davis and Frank Gore Jr. not there, he only was held to 2 rushing touchdowns. That is ludicrous. So why would I spend a 2nd or 3rd round pick on a guy that people think is going to be an RB1 when we know he's going to be completely diluted at the running back position? When I get a guy like, let's say, Derrick Henry, even Rachaad White's going to get a ton of volume, who I'm not really high on. I'd rather have Rachaad White than a guy like James Cook. Why would I do that? Now, there's also Josh Jacobs here. I can go into deep dive on him. He was mediocre last year. They brought in Marshawn Lloyd, who could be the 1 there. I mean, he is more explosive, more hungry, probably way more talented than Josh Jacobs given the ball. So as soon as Lloyd was drafted, man, I'm like, no, man, Jacobs is a no for me. He still could be good, but I'm just not as attracted to the guy for fantasy as I could be, okay? So running back here, dude, I'm looking at Derrick Henry here, and he's just jumping out. Let's take a quick glance at tight end. Oh, look at this, Sam Laporta film. Now, Sam Laporta comes off typically a little earlier here. I wouldn't mind. Now, some people are saying all this Sam Laporta talk, like, he's expensive. Listen, I was the only one telling you to draft Laporta last year. I loved the round 10 value. Like, it was amazing. Everybody was sleeping. I'm like, just draft Laporta. make sure he is your tight end one. And this year in 16 rounds, I reveal which tight ends I like, exactly which tight ends to stack so you're good. You may not have to pay a Laporta price, but I still think Laporta is good because you get your tight end, you get a secure tight end, right? And he's out of the way. Your tight end is done. While other people are drafting question marks, guys, question marks. Is it Nico Collins, right? There he is, came on. Is it Nico Collins? Is it Diggs? Is it Dell? Why would you play wide receiver roulette with that pick in the second or third round? It's crazy, okay? Like, I'd rather have Saquon than Nico Collins because I know he's the one. We're aiming high on the depth chart, guys. Do you see the pattern? Aiming high on the depth chart, especially in those early rounds, and securing the volume, the guaranteed points almost, right? Whereas with Nico, he was the wide receiver one by default last year because Dell was hurt and Diggs wasn't there. And neither was Joe Mixon. It's a totally different offense with way more weapons and complete target dilution. And Nico is an example of one, right? DJ Moore, another one. I get way too high on the ADP, DJ Moore, round 3. It's ludicrous. DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith, all these wide receiver 2s and 3s, round 2. You guys get the picture. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Derrick Henry here. Now I've got this amazing stack. And again, Laporta's there. I would do that just based on the scenario. I take a quick glance at quarterback. I could get my anchor, my team with an ace quarterback like Hurts. I like Mahomes is good, CJ Stroud, or they could come back. So that's how you handle from the first round and what to do. If Derrick Henry doesn't fall, take a look at the other best wide running back. I think Henry will fall. I really do. Kyron Rashad could be options as well, but you got Byjan here. You're good. Or you could take a quick glance at wide receiver. And again, I just think there's way better wide receivers here. Sleepers that I like, example, Lad McConkey, guys like that I can get later, and I'm secure. But since I've got Laporta there, I've got running back secure, and then I got tight end out of the way. I wouldn't mind Josh Allen here as well. I don't mind Josh Allen. Then I've got quarterback out of the way. The team's anchor of today's quarterback. That's done. But the reason why I'm so high on, let's say, a Josh Allen or a quarterback, or sorry, Josh Allen or a tight end here, like Laporta. Again, Laporta is the only guy I'd get in the second round, or Josh Allen here in round 2, is because everybody's messing around with the wide receiver 2s. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay. So Byjan, Derrick Henry, and I would go probably Laporta here to wrap it up. Okay. That is how I would handle the first round. Do you see what I'm saying here? Stick with me. So what did I do? I went and I secured an upwards trending running back in Byjan. You can go Brees, whatever tickles your fancy, as they say, whatever toots your horn, whatever gets you going, whatever gets you off, right? You go Byjan, you go Brees Hall. Simple, easy. It's not, brain surgery here. You're getting the workhorse running back who's trending upward, that is primed for a ton of volume, that's got minimal committee. Follow me. Come back around. Laporta's there. You've got tight end done. You've got a safe tight end 1 while everybody's drafting the Nico's, DJ Moores. That being said, I do want to give you a disclaimer. Nico Collins could finish as a top 5 wide receiver, but you're taking a major risk because Diggs could be the wide receiver 1 or Dell could be the wide receiver 1. We don't know. And one of them is going to be, or it could just be a 3-headed split monster. And you're like, okay, well, that sucked. That was anticlimactic. I spent a second round pick. I thought this guy would have the same targets he did last year, which he won't. A guy like DJ Moore, he's not going to get the same amount of targets last year with Keenan Allen there and Rome Odunze, a top 3 wide receiver prospect out of the draft with a rookie quarterback. He's not going to see that. And Keenan Allen's pretty much being drafted on last year's stats too, which is ludicrous, okay? If you're going to play wide receiver roulette, I've said this in a lot of videos, I'm going to keep sounding like a broken record, play wide receiver roulette later. Romeo Dobbs, round 10, cool, no problem. Jaden Reed, round 6, 7, cool. If you like him, at least you're not spending a second, third, fourth, fifth round pick. Does that make sense? Okay, guys? So that's what I did. And then the third round, I just took a look here. I took a quick glance. Who's best available? Laporta felt like probably won't in this case. So I'd probably grab, a CJ Stroud or someone like that and go Byjan Henry, get quarterback out of the way. Or I could simply go like, again, I don't like the wide receivers here. Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen. Oh, now we're in round 4. Sorry. Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, don't care for. Devin Achane's a major risk, okay? I don't like him either, man. He was hurt last year. It's a committee there. I heard Mostert starting. Like again, third round for a guy who's in a major committee. Vikings don't turn out high producing running backs. They did last year, right? But that same running back is there. Mostert, he's still there. right? Like, that's like saying like, hey man, let's say Derrick Henry, right? He's on the Ravens, but they drafted a rookie or someone like, or they brought in like, Rashad White, for example. Let's say Rashad White was on the Ravens, right? And Derrick Henry's there. Derrick Henry had like a 300 attempt year. Why would I draft Rashad White over Derrick Henry if they're on the same team? Like, do you see the logic? Yeah, you could say, well, like Mostert's getting older and Achane's explosive and he had 7.8 yards per carry, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your reasoning is, I don't care. They even drafted Wright, running back Jaden Wright or whatever his name is, Jalen Wright. Dude, it's going to be a committee. It's going to be a disaster. They got Tyreek. They got Waddle. I'm just staying away from that, okay? Not going to do it. So, again, if you're drafting first, I like Jan, Brees. Make a decision out of those two. Those are the two I like. It's up to you guys. If you guys want CeeDee Lamb, it's a safe play as well. But I like to go running back as a scarce position. Does this make sense? Smash it, tap it, hit the thumbs up. Let me know below. What are your thoughts here? And yeah, there's some strategy for you, some common sense, some logical fantasy football advice and analysis. If you're new to the channel, again, subscribe and grab the 16-round draft solution. It'll put you light years ahead of the Consheep says nobody teaches this stuff. They're just drafting based on ADP with no logic. There's no logic. Welcome to the Common Sense Counselor Corner, guys. We're going to tear up this year for Fantasy Football 2024. I also offer direct coaching. I've linked it below. Guys, it's going to be a big year. All right, guys? Smash it, tap it, slap it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm rambling. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. Fantasy football is back. Bring the energy. I'll see you guys in the 16-round draft session, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. We'll talk soon, guys. I'm out.